Now in terms of a mouth, one quick way for you to get a nice shape to a mouth to keep in mind is remember there are 5 parts. There's 3 to the upper lip and 2 to the bottom lip. And it's one oval and then maybe a smaller, flatter section and then another oval repeating what you just did over there. Okay? And then that's the top lip. And then for the bottom lip we want to do 2 ovals, maybe a little bit smaller than the 2 on the top. And we place those there. Now what happens is we put a line between the 2, and then these are sketched in, of course. And now you start drawing in your heavier lines. Okay? We've drawn over the top of that one in kind of a curve. And we dip down on top of the smaller one we drew here, and then we come back and finish this way. Again, repeating this line here to over here. Now that's our top lip. All right? Now the bottom lip, we'll draw a line coming down here and bump up a little bit in the middle between where these 2 don't meet, and then finish off. So what happens is this lip will look like this. Right, okay, and then it's usually a little darker in the corners. Okay, so I'm going to draw that in. I'm going to draw the quick loops here, the quick circles, all right? And some people teach you that the corners of the mouth really kind of meet up with the centers of the eyes. Of course, you know, we're not all built the same way, so some people have smaller, narrower mouths, some people have wider mouths, but that might be a good rule of thumb. So, you know, we come up and draw that, all right? And also remember, in drawing the lips, you know, there is a certain amount of shadow, okay? The top lip is more in shadow because you can imagine the light source is up above, so it's not directly into the sun unless your head's turned up. So that lip is going to be a little darker, and you know, you want to be careful if you're drawing a male, a man, or one of your buds, or you know, one of your battle buds. You know, don't give him really dark lips, it'll look like he's wearing lipstick. And then the bottom lip, which is almost always in sunlight, it will be just a little bit darker on the bottom. And again, I'm using a black marker, so it really shows up dark. The upper part of the bottom lip will carry a lot of highlight. So we've got that. We'll come back up to the nose here real quick, and you know, you can come up and draw some line there from the end of the nose. We'll draw that again. There's our first J, another J, J coming up like that, and a J coming up like that. To finish off the nose here, we'll come back up here as part of drawing these lines. You know, you could also draw some lines here to kind of finish off the nose, you know, to give it some more dimension here. There is a line that tends to come off the side of the nose here, and you'll see that when you look around at other people or look in the mirror. Sometimes it's a good idea to just practice drawing in front of a mirror. And the eyebrows, we can come back up to the top. You know, even eyebrows are different on different people. I mean, they're thick or thin, real close. Sometimes the eyes appear to be almost molded right into the eye, right into the eyebrow. You know, there's some people that have that rather intense look, you know, like that. It's just the way their features are formed. So now we're going to try and finish off the rest of the head. You know, we drew these lines in here. Just basically, again, you don't carve into the paper. And then we'll try and draw in a nice chin here, the side of the head, come up and finish off the top of the skull. All right, so now we have that. Let's come back up to the eyes for a minute. We drew the iris, or cornea, and now you want to put in a pupil. The pupil is, you know, the dark spot in your eye, and you don't want to necessarily completely darken that in. You know, typically, your eye will reflect some amount of light, so you can draw like a little square or some little sliver in there to be that bit of reflected light. And then the cornea, depending on whether somebody has brown eyes or blue eyes or lighter colored eyes, you know, that doesn't get filled in either. Here, let's try that again. We're going to draw that. So there's a pupil and the reflection in the pupil. And, you know, it could be just faint like that. Now there's somebody with really blue eyes. Eyelids, again, are like the eyebrows. They can be very well defined, and, you know, you can see them very easily, or they might just be just kind of form in there with the eyebrow even. So, and then we draw that. Eyelashes, you know, there's some amount of eyelash on men and women there. Make it look real. You can draw your tear ducts in there. Okay, we can draw ears. Ears will typically be between the eyes and the nose. Some, you know, people have different shape ears, so we're going to just kind of plan that in there. And again, he'll come up here like that. You can draw a hairline coming across the top of the skull. And again, hair will come out over this line you've drawn, you've sketched in. And okay. Getting back to the nose, we might want to just, you know, the side of the pencil, draw in a few lines, and then take the tip of your finger and then smear it in. Shadow areas might be typically here by the side of the nose, away from the light. If the sun's up here, of course, you can imagine the shadow's going to be over here. We've drawn our nose here. Safe to say, if the sun's up here, this here is going to be almost, you know, pretty dark. The side of the head here is going to start to darken up. The chin will be darker on this side a little bit, and the cheeks down at the bottom here on this side will be a little darker. The side of the head will be darker, and actually, you know, there is a bit of a brow here, so, you know, if you want to make it look a little more realistic, when you draw your shadow in there, you maybe have a little bit of separation between this bit of shadow and the eyebrow. And there's maybe a little bit more shadow here on the side of the nose. So there you got an idea of what the contrasts are going to look like.